Hello everyone, and welcome to English Speaking Gym. I am really happy you are here with me today. Today, we are going to practice English while exploring a fascinating question about the universe. Our topic today is why the sky is dark at night. Put on your headphones, relax your shoulders, take a deep breath, and let's start shadowing together. When I look up at the night sky, I see something beautiful. The sky becomes dark. Tiny stars appear. Sometimes the moon shines brightly. But this simple experience raises an interesting question. If the universe contains billions and billions of stars, why is the night sky dark? Why is the whole sky not completely bright? At first, this question may sound strange, but scientists have thought about it for many years. Long ago, many people believed the universe was infinite and full of stars everywhere. If that were true, every direction we look should eventually end at a star. That means the entire sky should glow as brightly as the surface of a star. In other words, the night sky should be completely bright. But that is clearly not what we see. Instead, most of the sky is dark, with small points of light. This mystery puzzled scientists for a long time. This question even has a name in astronomy. It is called Olber's paradox. A paradox is a situation that seems confusing or contradictory. In this case, the paradox asks why the sky is dark if the universe is full of stars. To understand the answer, I first need to think about how light travels. Light moves extremely fast. It travels about 300,000 kilometers every second. Even at that incredible speed, light still takes time to travel across the universe. For example, light from the sun takes about 8 minutes to reach Earth. Light from distant stars may take years, thousands of years, or even millions of years to reach us. Now here is the key idea. The universe is not infinitely old. Scientists believe the universe began about 13.8 billion years ago in an event called the Big Bang. Because the universe has a beginning in time, light from extremely distant stars may not have reached us yet. Their light is still traveling across space, so we cannot see every star in the universe. This means that when I look up at the night sky, I am only seeing the stars whose light has had enough time to reach Earth. There may be many more stars beyond that distance, but their light has not arrived yet. That is one reason the sky appears mostly dark. Another important reason is that the universe is expanding. Galaxies are moving away from each other over time. This expansion stretches the light traveling through space. When light waves stretch, their energy becomes weaker. Scientists call this effect redshift. Because of redshift, some distant light becomes so weak that our eyes cannot detect it. So even though the light exists, it becomes too faint for us to see. Dust and gas in space also play a small role. These particles can absorb or scatter light. However, this is not the main reason the sky is dark. If dust were the only explanation, the dust would eventually heat up and glow brightly. So the darkness of the night sky must have a deeper explanation. When I think about this question, I realize something amazing. The darkness of the night sky is actually evidence about the history of the universe. It tells us that the universe had a beginning. It tells us that the universe is expanding. And it reminds us that we can only see a limited part of the cosmos. The stars we see at night are only a tiny fraction of what exists. Our galaxy alone contains hundreds of billions of stars, and there are billions of galaxies beyond our own. Each galaxy contains its own stars, planets, and mysteries. Yet when we look up at the sky, we see only a small sample of this enormous universe. Sometimes I imagine traveling far into space. If I could move millions of light years away from Earth, the sky would look very different. New stars and galaxies would appear in directions that are dark from our current viewpoint. This shows how our position in space affects what we see. Another interesting fact is that the darkness of space helps astronomers observe distant objects. Because the background sky is dark, telescopes can detect faint galaxies and stars. If the sky were bright everywhere, observing the universe would be much harder. In a strange way, the darkness of the night sky allows us to explore the cosmos more clearly. When I stand outside at night and look up, I sometimes feel a sense of wonder. The darkness above me is not empty. It is full of distant galaxies, hidden stars, and light still traveling towards us. What looks like darkness is actually a window into deep time and space. Let me explain the main idea again in a simple way. The night sky is dark because the universe has a limited age. Light from many distant stars has not reached us yet. At the same time, the expansion of the universe stretches and weakens some of the light that does travel towards us. As a result, the sky is mostly dark instead of completely bright. Understanding this idea helps me appreciate the night sky even more. Every star I see represents light that traveled across space for many years. Some of that light began its journey before humans even existed. Looking at the stars is like looking into the past. Great shadowing so far. Now let's practice some useful vocabulary. I will say each word slowly. I will explain the meaning, then I will give an example sentence. Please repeat each word with me. Paradox. A situation that seems confusing or contradictory. Example. Olber's paradox asks why the night sky is dark. Galaxy. A huge system of stars held together by gravity. Example. Our galaxy is called the Milky Way. Redshift. The stretching of light waves when objects move away from us. Example. Redshift shows that distant galaxies are moving away. Expansion. The process of something becoming larger. Example. The expansion of the universe moves galaxies farther apart. Light year. The distance light travels in 1 year. Example. Some stars are thousands of light years away from Earth. Cosmos. Another word for the universe. Example. Astronomers study the cosmos to understand its origins. Now let's practice some useful power phrases that you can use in everyday English conversations. Here is something to think about. Example. Here is something to think about. We only see a small part of reality. Here is something to think about. What we see is not the full picture. At first glance, it seems simple. Example. At first glance, it seems simple, but the deeper explanation is complex. At first glance, it seems simple, but there is more happening behind the scenes. There is more going on than we can see. Example. There is more going on than we can see, even if it looks quiet. In this situation, there is more going on than we can see. What we are seeing is only part of the story. Example. What we are seeing is only part of the story, not the full reality. What we are seeing is only part of the story. We need more information. This completely changes how we see things. Example. This completely changes how we see things once we understand the reason. This completely changes how we see things in the long run.